old job that does not exist anymore, and for a long time it was the most powerful job in the room. The one who reads the signs, the augur, the seer, the reader of entrails and stars and dreams. Kings kept them close because a person who can tell you what is coming is worth more than an army. But there was always a cheaper counterfeit of that person, and from the outside the two looked identical. The real seer speaks before the event. The counterfeit speaks after and dresses it as before. Here is the thing almost no one says out loud. Explaining the past is easy. Predicting the future is hard, and the distance between those two is the entire game. After the battle is lost, 1,000 voices can tell you, with perfect detail and real intelligence, exactly why it was always going to be lost. They are not lying. The analysis is good. It is also worthless, because it arrived after the world had already decided. We have a word for the real thing: prophecy. We do not have a common word for the counterfeit, so let me hand you one. Post-diction. A prediction made after the fact and quietly stamped with an earlier date. And post-diction is not a small sin. It is the most natural move a mind makes. You watched it happen. You felt the outcome land, and now, honestly, without meaning to deceive anyone, you remember that you saw it coming. The memory rewrites itself to flatter the present. Everyone does this. It costs nothing, which is exactly the problem. So how do you tell the seer from the storyteller when both are standing in front of you, both saying the same 3 words? I called it. You do not listen to the claim. You look at the clock. If the person telling you when it happened is also the person who got to choose when, you have a story. A good story. Maybe one that even feels true, but a story. The only claim that carries weight is the one fixed to a moment the claimant could not set, stamped by something outside them, before the outcome existed, and unmovable afterward. The ancients understood this better than we do. The sealed prophecy, deposited with a third party who held it unopened. The witnessed oath, the mark pressed into wet clay and fired hard so the date burned into it could never be softened again. They were not being dramatic. They were solving the post-diction problem with the only tool that has ever solved it: a commitment made in advance, anchored to a clock the prophet did not control. Now notice what is not enough, because this is where almost everyone stops one step short. It is not enough to promise you will not claim a future date. Of course you will not. Nobody plants their flag in tomorrow. The lie always runs the other way. You reach backward into the past, into the comfortable space just before the outcome, and you set your stone there. A rule that only forbids the future leaves the entire past open to backdating. The honest constraint is harder and quieter. Not before now, before the thing it is graded against, recorded somewhere you could not reach back into and edit. This is enforcement before execution, turned on belief itself. You do not earn the right to say I knew in the hour of reckoning. You earn it earlier by laying the commitment down while the sky is still clear. Sign the thing, fix the time, hand it to a clock that is not yours, so that when the outcome finally lands, there is nothing left to revise, because the record was closed before you could be tempted to improve it. Every system that wants to be trusted meets this same fork. It can let its operators narrate their own history after the fact and become a hull of flattering stories, or it can bind every claim to a moment no operator can choose, set before the result is known. One of those is a track record, the other is a mood. They are very easy to confuse until the day it matters, and on that day they are not alike at all. So the next time someone tells you they saw it coming, do not argue about what they remember. Ask the one question that has ever separated the seer from the storyteller. Not, when do you say it happened? Show me the clock you couldn't move. This is not commentary. It is category formation.